Welcome to Module 1, Data and Information Mining. This module is part of the Digital Skills course, and it introduces some of the most important concepts that you will use throughout your university studies. Today, we live in a digital world where data is generated all the time. Every time you use your phone, study online, send an email, or search for information, you are interacting with data. In this module, we will learn what data is, how data becomes information, and how information can be transformed into knowledge and wisdom. These ideas are not only important for technology-related fields, but also for academic study, research, and everyday decision-making. This module will help you build a strong foundation for understanding digital information in a critical and responsible way. Before we begin, let's briefly look at the structure of this module. First, we will start with an overview of data and information using a model called the Dyke-W pyramid. This model helps us understand how raw data can lead to meaningful decisions. Next, we will learn about the classification of digital data, including structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data. After that, we will discuss how data is generated on a very large scale in today's world, and why this creates new challenges. Finally, we will focus on the 5 key characteristics of digital data, also known as the 5 V's, which are essential concepts in big data and digital literacy. Let's begin with an important conceptual model called the Dyke pyramid. DW stands for data, information, knowledge, and wisdom. This pyramid shows how data becomes more meaningful as it moves through different levels. At the bottom of the pyramid is data. Data consists of raw facts such as numbers, names, dates, or symbols. By itself, data does not explain anything. It simply tells us what exists. When data is processed, organized, or analyzed, it becomes information. Information adds context and meaning. It helps us understand what happened and sometimes why it happened. From information, we develop knowledge. Knowledge involves understanding patterns and relationships and knowing how to apply information in real situations. At the top of the pyramid is wisdom. Wisdom is the ability to make appropriate, ethical, and effective decisions based on knowledge and experience. This pyramid reminds us that data alone is not enough. The real value comes from how we interpret and use data. Let's look at a simple example related to education. Student names, scores, and submission dates are data. They are just raw facts without explanation. When we calculate the average score of a class or identify how many students submitted assignments late, we create information. When we observe that students who attend classes regularly and complete assignments on time usually perform better, we gain knowledge. Finally, when a lecturer decides to change teaching methods, introduce group work, or provide additional support based on this understanding, that is wisdom. This example shows how data can support better decisions in teaching and learning. Now, let's move on to the classification of digital data. Not all digital data is the same. To work with data effectively, we usually divide it into 3 main types: structured data, semi-structured data, and unstructured data. Understanding these types helps us choose the right tools and right methods for processing and analysis. First, structured data. Structured data has a clear and fixed structure, usually organized in rows and columns. This type of data is easy to store, search, and analyze. Common examples include Excel spreadsheets, student grade tables, and databases used in management systems. Because of its clear structure, structured data is widely used in organizations and educational institutions. Next, we have semi-structured data. Semi-structured data has some organization, but the structure is not fixed. It often uses tags or labels to describe content. Examples include emails, JSON or XML files, and data collected from online forms. This type of data is very common in web applications and online platforms. Finally, we have unstructured data. Unstructured data does not follow a specific format. It is more difficult to analyze using traditional tools. Examples include videos, images, audio files, PDF documents, and text posts on social media. In fact, most content on the internet today is unstructured data. Now let's look at how much data is generated every minute on the internet. Every minute, millions of videos are watched, emails are sent, photos are shared, and searches are made. This clearly shows that we are living in a data-driven society. As students, you are not only consumers of data, but also creators of data. Because of this, digital skills are no longer optional. They are essential for academic success and future careers. To better understand digital data, we use 5 key characteristics known as the 5 VUTs. These are volume, velocity, variety, veracity, and value. Together, they help us understand the challenges and opportunities of working with large amounts of data, also known as big data. Volume refers to the extremely large amount of data generated every day. For example, hundreds of hours of video are uploaded to YouTube every minute. Because of this massive volume, we face a challenge called information overload. We need effective skills to filter, search, and select useful information. Velocity describes the speed at which data is generated and transmitted. Breaking news and social media updates can spread within seconds. This means we must evaluate information quickly, but also carefully before trusting or sharing it. Variety refers to the many different formats of data. Data can be structured, semi-structured, or unstructured, such as text, images, videos, and tables. Each format requires different tools and methods for analysis. Veracity is about the reliability and accuracy of data. Not all information on the internet is trustworthy. Some data may contain errors, bias, or fake news. Therefore, critical thinking skills and evaluation methods, such as CRAP and SIFT, are very important. Finally, value. Raw data does not automatically have value. Data becomes valuable only when it is analyzed and used to create insights. The ultimate goal of working with data is to create value for learning, research, and decision-making. To summarize, this module introduced the basic concepts of data and information mining. We learned how data moves from raw facts to wisdom, how digital data is classified, and how the 5 V's help us understand digital data in the modern world. These concepts will support your academic studies and help you become a more effective and responsible digital citizen. Thank you for your attention.